Welcome back to the YouTube, guys. So 1 week's time from now would have been 3 years since me and Dan launched Precision. And we're going to do a really raw, honest insight video today on how not only have we built the business from the ground up, we've also taken ourselves from a position of not really having much to help us leverage a good starting point or success within bodybuilding, business, and give you guys some lessons along the way and basically show you that no matter where your starting point is, you can build either your physique, your business, or anything that you want to work towards to whatever level you want to, given you're willing to work hard and be patient.
And put the hours in.
Yep.
I think put the hours in. And remember that you're going to have to invest a lot of time, a lot of effort, not only, again, as I say, your time, but also monetary, financial investment as well, before you will start to see your rewards of all of your efforts.
So before Precision, we was actually Team DC, which was
DC.
Team Dan and Cal. Very, very original name,
Yeah.
raw name. It worked. And I'd say we had that for what, 9 to 10 months, would you say that was that for?
Yeah.
Yeah, just under a year?
Yeah,
and then we
just under a year.
And then I think it was very quickly we realised that like the way we operated as coaches was very precise, very kind of like specific. So that was kind of where the name Precision come from, was rebranding to that.
And also at that point, because we just firstly used to use the one account between the two of us.
Yeah.
At that point, we then used what now is the Precision page. We then created 2 more accounts, which is now Cal and myself, and again then split our content essentially from one page into 2, as we then branched into Precision from which was originally, as I say, one account, just DC, both working off the same account for as I say, 10, 12 months, for a year before, and then as I say, then we split.
And what's interesting is prior to that, me and Dan did not have Instagram, did we? We didn't have any Instagram account.
I remember making the account.
Yeah, that's it, when we went up to Rotherham, wasn't it?
So we was driving back from, we'd been just like on a gym away day with Rob, and we went up to Ultraflex in Rotherham. And that was a real start. I was driving home, I was in the back of the car, and I literally made the account. We had no Instagram before, we rarely used Facebook, anything like any social media presence. So we literally started from the bottom. I made the account raw, literally as we was driving home. And from that day on, that's where it all started.
Yeah. And at the time, obviously, I was working a full-time job. You were working a full-time job as well. Yeah. So as I say, guys, at the start of the video, where we started from isn't from any higher position that you may be in now. So wherever it is you're starting, you can always make something of either your name, your physique, or a business that you want to build, just based on raw work ethic, time, and ultimately having passion for the game as well. Because I think that's one thing that rings true for myself and you is years and years and years before we even started the Instagram page, it was always about raw bodybuilding, training, patience. There was never any other incentive than doing it for the pure love of the sport. It was literally just for bodybuilding.
Right, what do you think of this? All right, I'm doing this today. This is what I'm doing at the minute. This is my program. What do you think of this? And banging ideas off each other, and you know what works for you. This I've read this, you've read this, and banging ideas off together and coming up with like our own programs, our own structure, our own phases, etc., etc. And then we turn that into something, right, let's help other people. Let's go down this path now. And I don't think ever, at the beginning, it was something that we would take to this scale. I don't ever really think it was something that we're going to be here.
We're too far ahead of
it was just, let's help some people, let's gain some knowledge. And let's go, let's start and see where we end up.
And I think that's a really, really crucial point, is that obviously myself and you come from a background where we was never really too confident in, let's say, talking to a camera, posting our opinions, posting content. But one thing that we did from the start was we just put volume out. We just worked. We didn't think too much about what it is we posted. We didn't overthink the process too much. It was like, let's post some training videos, let's post some content. Like, I even sent you some bits yesterday, did you see? Old Christmas posts. Like, the first thing we did when we started that account was just volume, frequency. And that was where it started, was just being passionate about something, putting time into it, and ultimately not thinking too much about it, not overthinking the process. I see it so often with other coaches and people that will often overthink the process of, what do I need to post? I need a content schedule. We just posted. We just did volume.
We swapped a day each on the stories, I think I remember. So like I was on the page, we was obviously both logged into the singular page, and I would do stories and content one day of food, of training, steps, cardio, blah, the usual stuff. And then you would do the next day, then I would do, and then we would talk about a post. You do this today, I'll post this today. And that's how it started. And we started with 0 followers. There was no massive social media presence because that's very much rules the game now.
Yeah.
You know,
Eyes,
and it was
audience.
never started off with XK amount of followers, 10K, 20K, whatever. It was, we literally started from zero and built up from a local presence, I suppose, was our first, from a local presence. And then it built there, and then as our rapport, and as we built that trust and we got them results after putting, you know, time, effort, financial investment in, and then the passion comes before that, and then you then slowly get your rewards.
Yeah.
But if you're not in the game from a passion standpoint, and because you truly love it, and you're not in it for the long run, the financial rewards are not going to come quick. Yeah. So, and then people that are very much in it to be an entrepreneur, or look at this as a business move, and right, I'm going to do this as a business move because I'm then going to gain this, or I want to build this empire, they're going to fall off. And you will see them people, you'll see the way they post, you will see it's not raw, it's not authentic, it's not real, it's very much stage, it's very much thought about. Yeah. And that's, I think, the difference with us. It was just, we were posting our day to day, you know, and we weren't, as you said, we weren't super confident. We weren't these people who would talk on the stories, you know, like it was an effort. Yeah. And to some degree it still is. Yeah. Really. To some degree it still is, and it's not, you're never going to be a natural on camera first. You know, your content isn't always going to flow. You've just got to be raw with it and just post it out there and just be yourself.
And I'm sure Mango can vouch for this as well. The amount of times when we first started, it'd be, restart again, we fuck that bit up. Like the amount of times that's happened to get to the position now where we can.
We would have restarted this already like 5 or 6 times already.
Just goes to show that no matter where you grow to, you're still learning, you're still evolving in the process. And lastly, before we crack on with the training, I think it's so important that as you look towards either building your physique or building your business, you look to grow yourself. I think if you grow yourself in the process of building something, you're always gonna excel at that, because you're only gonna grow at the rate that you want to grow yourself. So making sure that you're constantly working on things which are outside of just the way your physique looks or the content schedule that you're going to be planning your content around, working on raw things that you can evolve with as a person is always something that's going to then allow you to take that further.
Yeah, I think so.
So on that note, we're cracking on with push session today down at Old Ironworks. So any other bits we think of, we're going to be taking you along the way. So one thing me and Dan do every single week is line up one session. This is something that we always wanted to do when we worked 9 till 5, was be like, I want to train whenever I can. And it's something that we always hold ourselves to, because it's so easy to get caught up in like, oh, I'm too busy, or I'll do this another time. Whereas we always make it a staple to get one session in. Is it something that we always wanted to do before we started full-time online coaching, was come in and train on our terms. And that's one thing that we hold ourselves to religiously now. And it's a little bit of an addition from that. I know I'm especially guilty of this. It's so easy to always, what's the right way to word it? It's so easy to always just raise the bar and forget where you wanted to be and the reasons that you started. And that's something you're very good at with me, is always reminding me, like, this is what you wanted to do. Like, remind yourself that you always wanted to train at the times you could train.
I always say to you, I say, like, stop a minute, think, when you started, if you could see the position that you was in that you're in now, if you could look forward 4 years, skip forward 4 years, would you be grateful now? Yeah. And if the answer is yes, then you need to think about it and understand and you know, digest that. But also in the same breath, whilst you've got to be grateful and look back, you've also got to be hungry, and you've got to be willing to continue to push and work and put the hours in, and not have set hours that you work. You know, not at 5 o'clock, right, I log off and that's it. You know, you've got to be working around the clock, you've got to be putting the hours in. Such a saturated market now, with so many people doing this, that your service has got to be over and above everyone else, and you've got to be fucking putting the hours in.
And I think as well, to some degree, that should come easy. Like, I think at the start, you shouldn't really ever have to stop and think, oh, I'm having to work later today, or oh, I haven't had a day off. Like, it doesn't really cross your mind when you're in that position where you want to build something. It should be something that maybe happens like 2-3 years down the line, when you get to that point where you're starting to, where you've really put in the work. But it shouldn't feel like you need a break, or that you're doing too much to start. If anything, I always find it should feel like you're not doing enough, even though you are, because that's a really good driver to just keep pushing you forward.
Well, how many days in, you know, how many days in the past 3 years have we had off work? Yeah. How many days? How many whole days have you taken off where you've not responded to a text, you've not done a check-in, you've not taken a phone call from a client, you've not spoken to a client? How many years? 3+ years, 4 years now? Probably since we started.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Like, I know, even when we go away, we travel, Like I was in America for 2 weeks. I was doing check-ins every day, responding to clients every day. You're the same when you travel for shows abroad. There's never a day off or a holiday or annual leave. There's never annual leave. It's around the clock, 24/7.
I think a good point to cover as well, guys, is when, I can say when you first start out, but it even goes to when you're like, you've even built a business, is blocking out the noise. I think, especially when we first started, how many people would have said coaching was saturated? Like, everyone. Like, even, we would have even thought that as well. Like, we're probably too late.
I can remember having conversations saying, bro, I think we've just missed the mark.
Yeah, or we're too late.
We've just missed the mark.
And I think, obviously, as much as that comes in as a thought process, you've just got to dismiss it. Dismiss it and put the energy into the work. That's kind of what we've done along the way. I guess to some degree, that's what we had each other for, is if there was any days that I was doubting things, we're like, just post, put it out, bro, just keep going. And also vice versa in that element as well.
I think that's been good, very good for us, is the fact that we've had each other as well.
Yeah.
It's like, and still to this day, even from like, when we coach, if I've got questions and vice versa, Couch, what do you think of this? Or how do you think this physique fits into a division? Yeah. Or what do you think we need to bring up here? Or even more, about diet, and we've got questions or queries. We can run it off each other, and I think that's helped a lot throughout because sometimes you have self-doubt. It's very much like you do in your physique journey, if you're bodybuilding, whatever you're doing. You sometimes all have self-doubt, we're all human. And I think that's, again, we can, times that we use each other when we need each other most has been a really good thing.
And I was even going to cover that as a whole point in itself. I think in bodybuilding, in life, you need people that complement your strengths and help your weaknesses, whether that is family, friends. You do need someone that's going to like help push you for the things that you're good at, and then also fill the gaps in the things that you aren't necessarily good at. Like, that's something that we've,
it's a great example. Like even we spoke the other day, Cal's very much a person who will run forward and will go, and you look at positives. Yeah. Whereas you bring up an idea, Cal looks at the positives and steams forward. Whereas I naturally look at, right, okay, what happens if we do this? What are the negatives? And then together, we'll bang the ideas, and it's probably somewhere in the middle ground.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what, so Cal's very go, and I'm very, right, okay, what is this? Let's look at this, let's work out if this happens, what's going to happen, what are the consequences of this? And we find a meet somewhere in the middle.
And it even works for me as well, like you mentioned it perfectly a second ago, where you said that I'm very much someone that doesn't reflect much, but you're very good at grounding me and pulling me back down sometimes and saying like, bro, you wanted this is where you're at now, like you're very good at pulling me back down. So yeah, it works to complement strengths and
strengths, both of our strengths and weaknesses, warming up there. I find that a lot. That my first, especially on my compounds a lot early on, the first ones I feel horrible. Like I just said to you there, 2.5, I said, fucking hell, I don't feel good today. And I've just gone in for the 3.
Felt better.
And it feels better. Yeah. So you got to take your time. Like on this, we're just working up in 10s. Especially as you get stronger, you will need to take more warm-ups in order to get you ready at that working weight. Otherwise, it's just a massive risk. You go and you put like 5 plates aside on and you're not warmed up properly, you're going to run into injuries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's get to it.
Come on, stop. Yes. Boom. 4. Come on. 5. Clean. Really nice. Come on. Yes. Come on. And again. Come on. Yes. All the way. One more if you want it. One more. Yes. Up. Finish.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Definitely didn't get that last time.
No, you got more. That's fucking. It's gone up. Let's go. Cool, one chance.
Let's go, bro.
Let's go. One chance.
Yes. Strong. Yep. Go again. What about the lock? What's that?
Easy excuse. I've got long arms, man. I'm 6'5", I've got long arms, man. It's just so much further to press. Yeah. I say this all the time to people, like, I've just done my top heaviest set there, and I'm actually a few reps under. So I overshot it a little bit. Could have been probably 5 kilos lighter, 7.5 kilos, I would have taken me into the rep range. But don't always, if you jump up a weight or you're feeling really good on a day, don't be scared to just go and attack a weight, even if you are just slightly under the rep range. But just ensure that when you do your next set, that you make up for it in terms of volume. Here we go. Lovely. 7, piece of piss. 8, easy. 9, 12, 10. Come on, 2 more. 2 more. And again. At least. Yes. 1 more. Come on, finish it. Yes. Up. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. What's that? Nice smooth.
Yes. There's your groove. Yep. Keep moving.
One more. Powerful.
Yes.
Yep.
Lovely. Nice. What would you say has been one of the most uncomfortable things you've had to get used to about being a coach? Mine was going to be, honestly, initially showing my physique. Like, that was something that I could probably even say was a huge driver for me in bodybuilding in the first place, was like not liking the way I looked, to then working to like the way I looked, and in being able to slowly detach from that mentality of, I don't like the way I look, to being like, okay, that looks okay. Like, compare that to where I was, and that was something that was uncomfortable for me to initially get used to. And then just over time, it's got easier the more I've shared it and almost become positive in that view of myself, if that makes sense. I don't know if yours is similar.
Mine isn't the same. I think mine is when I have to say something to a client that I know they're not going to like.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think that's probably it. And from a physique standpoint, like, a lot of people, including me, as today, come from a place of dissatisfaction with physique.
Yeah.
So I think that's not that was nothing, not new, but that was always something for me anyway. I think it's yes, as I say, telling a client something when I know they're not going to like what they're going to hear.
Yeah.
Whether that's someone think they're doing something the right way.
Yeah.
Whether a method that they followed for exercise that amount of time. Typically someone who's been training or someone who's a little bit more experienced, and I think, you know what, we could be doing that a little bit better, or, you know what, let's change this meal for this. You could be doing this slightly different. You're doing this wrong. This is a better method for you to take than one. And knowing that it's something that people are not going to like, I think something that you've got to get used to. Probably just honesty. I think being brutally honest with people, but remembering that what you're saying it in a constructive way, that's then going to create a positive outcome rather than something that's a negative. It's not a negative, it's helping someone find a better way of doing something.
Yeah. I saw a quote, it was like, the people that care for you the most are the hardest on you, which is very similar to what you said, in that it may not be the answer that they want to hear, but it's the answer they need to get the progress they want, definitely.
What's 2 bits of advice you could give to yourself when we first started, say the first 6 months, to build up your business, to start your business?
One would be to double down on what I said at the start, just volume of content. I think when you initially break down that mental barrier of doing a post or what's someone going to think of that post, the more volume you do, the less you care about that. So volume's a quick way to build confidence in what it is you're posting and the content that you're putting out. Just go pure volume. And very similar to that, like raw action over everything. If you're just doing something, that's better than doing nothing. So putting content out there religiously is going to be a quick way to, 1, get seen, 2, build your own confidence in your posting, and 3, reach more people with more eyes. Don't be afraid to put across your opinion. Everyone's got their own ways and methods of things. Just because a method is more popular than others, if yours is different from that, don't be afraid to put that out there. Sometimes that can be the difference to what brings you clients in compared to others, is if you're putting out a different opinion and you genuinely stick by and believe that, put it out there and be confident in it.
Otherwise, you'll see people that, and then early on, I did find myself doing it, that you try and kind of stick to the content that's already out there,
yep,
because you feel in yourself that it's acceptable and that it's right.
Yep.
So like you'll watch other videos and you'll kind of make videos on the same videos.
Yep.
And in the end, there's nothing authentic about it. It looks super staged, you know, like pre-rehearsed, pre-scripted. And also, you're just going to blend in with the crowd then, you know, and you're not being true and giving your own opinions. You're just kind of following a crowd because you think it's the right thing to do. Yep. And in the end, it just gets diluted because everyone else is doing the same thing.
Yep, mind your way. Oosh.
Strong.
Oosh. Oosh.
Let's go, stick through.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Boom. Power.
Yeah, nice, slow.
Let's go.
11.
Come on.
12.
Come on. Come on. Drive. It's there, it's there. It's there. Yes, yes, yes.
What would you say is one moment over the 3 years where you've stopped and been like, this is getting real now, or like you've really started to feel like the brand's been known or
Established.
yeah? Has there been one moment or a couple of moments across the 3 years when you've been like, oh shit, like it's getting real, it's getting big?
I think a really cool moment for me this year was Mega using the car with me when we was driving over from Cardiff, and the fucking journey went like that quick. It was after we had Tom and Fran in the same show, and yeah, Tom won 4 out of 5 classes. Fran got 3 top 3s. I think at that point it was a really good moment for me. I think at that point I thought, do you know what, like, you know, this is what we dreamed of doing, and yeah, that was a cool moment for me, I think. When we're talking about like time investment, and you're going to have to give a lot and sacrifice a lot early on to build up. I remember what I said to you when, like before we even, when we early days, when you were still working a full-time job, and when we both used to live at home still, and I would get up in the night, my room was downstairs, and I'd get up in the night to get a drink, go to the toilet, whatever, and it'd be like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning before you was going to work, like 2 hours before he'd have to leave for work. And he'd be on his computer and his laptop at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like studying with his pen and paper, you know, on the Muscle Mentors thing, just learning. I'd go through his education stuff, like, you know, before he had to go up and go and do his 9 to 5. It was like even learning then, early on in the morning.
Yeah. I think it even goes back to what I said a minute ago, in that something's better than nothing. Like, even if I was at that point, I didn't know what to do, something was better than nothing. And I always think that, like, even if you just do something, even if you learn about something which doesn't seem relevant right now, it will become relevant at some point. Like, I'm sure you think the same thing now, bro. Like, with the time you have invested in clients, you don't really have that much time to learn. So, like, when you're not busy, make use of the time doing things which are going to benefit your future career. It's like learning about something which you may not have experienced with a client yet. You may stumble across that. So just be prepared when you've got the time compared to when you're busy and you may not have that time.
Yeah. You're not just concerning yourself with what's relevant to you
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
Yeah, like something that I would have looked at years ago and thought, Joe, that's not quite relevant now. I'm not quite at that point. Like early on, we were just coaching lifestyle guys, learning about like peaking and peak week, etc. And at the time, I was thinking, oh, is this really relevant? You know, do I need to be doing this now? But you did, and then it comes into play, and you can apply it later on down the line.
Yeah.
Nice. Come on, let's go. Yes. Straighten them arms a little bit more. Straighten them arms a little bit more. Again. Yes. Get in, get in, get in, get in. Yeah. Oh. Oof.
Clean. Yeah, come on, come on. Stick with it. Thank you again. One now. Let's go. Let's get it through. Get it through. Get it through. Get it through. So investment is a huge part of everything you do in life, guys. And whether it's investing into bodybuilding, whether it's investing into business, investment spreads across so many different areas. You've got financial investment. When we first started coaching, it was investing in the sheets, investing in education platforms for knowledge, investing sometimes
Building a shed back down the end of the garden.
yeah, to work from. Like everything at the start isn't about a monetary reward, it's about pumping in. As long as you've got belief in your work ethic and what you can put into it, then the financial side doesn't really become a concern, does it? Because you know long term, if that's something you're fully committed to, it's going to pay you back.
You're going to get it back at some point. So don't look at it as an outgoing and an
expense.
spending and a negative. Look at it as, okay, I'm pumping this in here, but this is going to make its way back to me later on down the line.
Yeah, you're essentially investing in you. And as I said, investment covers so many different areas. You have mental investment, emotional investment. And this is something that, again, we see with clients all the time. Like, how many times would a client sign up to you and you're not even worried about the money they're paying you? You're emotionally invested in the goal. You're invested in the stage look that you want to bring with them, the 30, 40 kilos that they want to lose their body weight. Like, investment is such a large part of everything you do as a coach and as a person and as an athlete. So never seeing investment as a bad thing, always allowing it to complement what you do by just putting more into everything, whether it's financially, emotional, or even just energy you're putting into something.
Thought processes as well. Your thoughts, as you say, your energy, and remaining positive throughout the process is a huge thing as well.
Yeah.
But rather than looking at, I've only got 5 clients or I've only got 10 clients, this isn't going to work, this isn't bringing me in X, Y, Z amount of money a month yet, remain positive that you're on the right track. And also nurturing them clients that you've got is rather than looking for the next 5 clients, the next 10 clients, getting 50 clients, whatever that number is in your head, work on really nurturing the ones that you've got and retention and getting great results from the clients that you've got, because then you're going to build up them transformation, you're going to build up them bodies on your page. And then you start to create trust. People realise that what you've got is rather than look for quality, rather than quantity.
And I think, again, the second point to that is, it's always about, I lost my train of thought then, you keep that bit in. No, I've got it. is not getting too caught up on the highs and not getting too caught up on the lows. Like, it's very much the same as training. Like, we always relate coaching to training in the sense of, you're going to come in some days, you're going to have an amazing session, and you're going to feel on top of the world. Don't get too caught up in that, and don't try and chase that feeling. Same way you're going to come into the gym sometimes, you're not going to have a good session. It's about the process and the fact that you're going through that process rather than how you felt doing it is the most important thing. What would you say bodybuilding coaching has opened your eyes up to bodybuilding yourself? As in, what have you learned from being at all the shows, seeing all people compete, having more and more clients go through seasons? What's one thing that you then, you look at your own bodybuilding differently? Is there anything you look at?
Yeah. I think how much I used to limit the potential. I think everyone always thinks, even from an early on that I haven't got genetics. I haven't got genetics. And it's opened your eyes up to, yeah, people are genetically elite. And that only really comes into play at quite a high level. I think, you know, the physiques that we've built now and the physiques that I see people building, even without great genetics, you can take yourself a hell of a long way. Yeah, it plays a point. Yeah, it comes into point at some point. It comes into play at some point. But actually, you can take yourself so far and you can achieve so much. Yeah. And I think it's only one of the only sports, right, that, let's take football for example, right? Most lads that play football. Imagine going to training, right, for the first year of training and coming off the pitch and saying, do you know what, I didn't fucking take that free kick like Cristiano Ronaldo. At what other sport do you compare yourself into the elite level of, you know, you go down and do athletics and you run 100 metres, you don't think, fuck, you're like, I couldn't run as quick as Usain Bolt then. But in this sport, there's, at a young age, you always look and you want to compare yourself to the highest level, Olympian level athletes.
I don't look like Chris.
Yeah, in no other sport do you ever compare yourself to the highest level of athletes. But this, people do in this sport. So it's just, you know, and you can get so far without having great genetics, basically.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Yeah, solid point. Yeah, solid point.
What's a couple of things with the success that you've had this year, things you've learned which you didn't expect you would learn from such a good year?
Yeah, so I think sticking with your guns when it comes to plans you've got for clients. Like, I'll openly talk about this one with Creed, for example, in the sense of, I remember being at that regional, the Naturals regional, and I'm thinking, shit, I've made a bad decision here. Like, this isn't the right move. Whereas it was the right move. I just needed to trust myself more in what I'd seen and the vision that I had for that coaching journey. Whereas, like we said earlier, you're always going to get dealt with things. I think it's more so sticking to your guns with the plans you've got for clients and the vision that you see for them, and not letting anything else kind of distract that. Like, run with what it is you've got in your mind and just take that all the way. And evidently this year that paid off. So that was quite like a refresher.
Like the decisions that you made at the time
were worth it.
Stick to your guns, because you made them for a reason.
And never compromise on that. Yeah, like you say, you look at them things logically and stick with that, and don't let any emotional ups and downs through the process sway that trajectory. That's probably one thing I've learned. Next thing will be, again, similar to what I covered a second ago, not getting too caught on the highs and the lows, in the sense of not thinking that if you get a pro card, it's going to instantly bring loads of inquiries and loads of quality. Like, the process is still the process. I still do my check-ins every single day. Nothing changes there. Just keep putting the same energy into lifestyle clients as I do competitive clients, and the results and the ball will continue to roll from there. So not getting caught up on one result. I think that's one thing.
Making sure that you keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Because you will have hurdles, and you will come up against things which don't go your way.
Yeah.
Things won't always go your way. It won't always go as planned. And there will be hurdles. I just call them hurdles because you can jump over anything. Any hurdle that's put in your way, there's always a way around it. So just keep moving forward. Don't overthink the negatives, and just keep on striving for success. And just don't stop, basically. Just don't stop, just keep going.
Yeah. What about you? Anything you've learned across this season you didn't know previous?
Experience outweighs everything. I think experience, you realise that you often think there's things that you don't know, and still to this day I sit there and think, okay, how can I be better? But that's the type of person that I am, that I never want to settle, and we need to keep moving forward. Again, reflect on bodybuilding and the coaching journey. And you can sit there and think, what I don't know, what do I need to learn? But time and working with different people, working with lots of volumes of people, you will learn through experiences, different bodies, how different people react. you know, different scenarios will play out, especially in preps, and it takes experience, and you have to go through them, ups, the highs, the lows, to learn from them as well.
Yeah.
Don't upset too many people. What's your favourite division, male or female? To coach or as a spectator? Fan?
Right, to coach, I'd say classic, because I feel like there's more to play with than just size and condition. I feel like there's more to think about in terms of the structure you're dealing with, what you can build on that structure to make it look more impressive, as well as the condition and the fullness, whereas I feel like bodybuilding is pack on as much
everywhere
size and symmetry as you can everywhere, whereas classic's more specific to certain areas, and yeah, you're considering more when you're looking at a physique, I feel like. Female, got to be women's physique. Yeah, I think it's like working with a smaller bodybuilder, but seeing it on a female body and working with it on a female body is completely different. It's like working with a male bodybuilder, but also not in a way, so that's quite cool, and I find that impressive in itself, that a female will push their limits to that extreme and also not be worried about other opinions. I think that's something that's commonly seen with those divisions, is them females have to be so brutal at cutting out other opinions and sticking to what they believe in. Yeah. So I think I respect that as a coach, coaching the division, and also as a person looking from an outside in.
The sacrifices that a woman has to make, I suppose,
larger.
The potential sacrifices that a female, a higher level female, and in them, certainly in them divisions as you go up, you know, you get past figure, physique, bodybuilding, of course, the sacrifices that they make and the potential that, the potential side effects that they could run into become great.
Yeah, and then to spectate, it's got to be bodybuilding. When you see, like when I saw the lineup for the Arnold, I was like, that's going to be sick. Yeah. I think Jack's going to take that, Andrew Jack's going to take it. To spectate
or Martin.
Yeah, and then
Martin will push him. Martin, I think Martin.
True.
I'm going Martin.
I'm going to go Andrew on that.
I'm going Martin.
And then to spectate females, there's got to be figure. I like spectating female figure. That's quite cool, especially at the high ends. What about you?
I think figure. There's an element of beauty. Beauty you can say to figure, that there still has to be very much that feminine look on the figure athlete. You've got muscle, you've got shape, and again they also have that element of beauty in it as well. It's got to look pretty and it's got to look really quite feminine.
It's a fine line to walk, isn't it? It's a very, very fine line to walk. It's kind of like, would you say figure is the male classic, in that you're more structured, there's more, you're thinking of more rather than just slamming on size, and it's very specific with where you're slamming on size. And classics, look at all the classic high-end bodybuilders, they're all good-looking guys. There's a level of, as you say, beauty to some degree.
Yeah, aesthetics and beauty. You've got to look aesthetically pleasing.
Figure in classic as well. I'd say together they're quite similar.
Right guys, that is the session. That's the session done. That's the kind of review, I suppose, of the anniversary of DC and precision coaching. What's the next year, 2 years going to hold then? Next 2 years?
More progress, more progression. You've got a really good season coming up. You've got a lot of very good athletes going next year.
Yeah.
I've got less amateurs, more pros going next year, which is going to be good. So hopefully that next stepping stone for both of us in terms of coaching, progression, bodybuilding, nothing changes. We continue to do what we do.
Yeah, exactly
which just serves as the foundation for how hard we push and everything else. So yeah, it's been an awesome year, guys, and an awesome 3 years as well. So hopefully this video is giving you some insights to lessons that we've learned along the way, and also gives you that inspiration that no matter where your starting point is, you can build and become something in the process of working, being patient, and loving the process.
Yeah, it's a wrap. I think you can build from the ground up if you take the time and you commit to doing so, and you invest not only in the vision but also in yourself and your personal journey. And the sky's the limit. You know, don't limit yourself. Don't close doors on your expectations. Guys, think big, and then just work towards doing so, and just relentlessly push forward with a positive attitude.
On that note, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and catch you on the next one.